Xbox is shutting this down and fans are not happy. You're gonna want to check out this new way to play Xbox and say goodbye to this controversial Halo experiment. Let's discuss. What's up guys, and welcome back to Xbox Ready, the YouTube channel that is all about Xbox. I got another video to catch you up on some things you may have missed in the world of Xbox. I want to make sure that you are Xbox ready. And if you want to stay Xbox ready, whether you're an old or new fan, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. Let's start off with some bad news though. It's not necessarily bad news to me, but it's something that has got the community up in arms, furious, divided. Call it whatever you want, but it's looking increasingly like Xbox is shifting towards a future where they ditch physical copies of games and go full digital. I made a video about this last week and people have been reaching out to me saying, man, that's a reach. Man, this is just rumors. Ray, what are you talking about? You're crazy. And while yes, I'm a little crazy, sure, I'll admit that, but that doesn't make me wrong. You see, at the end of last week, we got news that Microsoft was laying off 1,900 employees across its gaming division. And as part of those layoffs, Jez Corden has reported that Xbox is shutting down its physical games division. He reports that Microsoft has also shut down departments dedicated to bringing Xbox games to physical retail, which if you've seen the digital-only Xbox console leaks, well, you can get an idea of where Microsoft is going here. He goes on to clarify, reducing retail teams doesn't confirm Microsoft is quitting physical retail for Xbox games yet. They can outsource and might be consolidating here. So don't run with the Xbox is quitting physical games based on this. But it does seem to be the industry trajectory. And while he's trying to be cautious, he's saying don't run with a certain narrative, don't run with Xbox is leaving physical games behind. Where else am I supposed to go with this? Because while Xbox shutting down its physical release division is the latest in a move that seems they're shifting to all digital, it's not the only one. In fact, it seems that they've been hinting about an all digital future since the beginning of this console generation, all the way back in 2020. And it seems to me that we should have seen the signs when they decided to release the Xbox Series S. As we all know, the Series S doesn't have a disk drive, it's an all-digital console. And when it launched at the time, I was like, well, you know, it's pretty much like the digital PS5, that's Xbox's version of it. It seems to be proving pretty popular, and it's selling just as well, if not better, than its big brother, the Series X. We don't know concrete sale numbers of the Series S versus X, because they don't report that. But Xbox leadership has hinted in the past that all new players, all new customers entering the Xbox ecosystem are doing so with the Series S. And it seems that the Series S sold very well, especially during the console shortage. And now that they're seeing the popularity of the Series S, and I would bet money that the popularity of the Series S has changed a couple of things when it comes to Xbox's future plans. Because if people are buying this all-digital console, and we're at the point where all Xbox first-party games are going to be current-gen only, no longer are they going to be releasing on the Xbox One, why would they make physical games if only a small percentage of their customer base is going to buy them? The popularity and the staying power of the Series S also make me believe in these Xbox Next rumors, specifically the rumors that suggest that the Xbox Next is going to be a cheaper, less powerful version of the PS6, but that it's going to come out earlier than the PS6. The Series S, in a way, has kind of proven that concept. They're like, you know what, it's less powerful, it's cheaper, but people are still buying it. But when it comes to ditching physical games and going full digital, I'm sure if you're Xbox and you are wondering, could we make this happen? Could we still be successful as a gaming publisher, as a platform holder, if we didn't release physical games? If only there was a way to test that. Maybe we could release a game that didn't have a lot of expectations around it, people didn't know too much about, and only release it digitally and see how it does. Enter Hi-Fi Rush. They shadow dropped this at last year's Developer Direct, and it is easily one of the best things that Xbox First Party and Bethesda has done since the start of this generation. Critically, it was a success, getting 9 out of 10s from major publications like IGN. And on Metacritic, it sits at like 87, 89. There's a lot of debate on whether or not Hi-Fi Rush was commercially successful. Back last April, Jeff Grubb was like, man, they're not too happy with the way that Hi-Fi Rush is selling, or at least that's what I'm hearing from my sources. But a couple of days later, Aaron Greenberg responded, saying it was a breakout hit for us and all our players in all key measurements and expectations. It also infamously outsold Forspoken in the first week of its release. But there's no physical copy of Hi-Fi Rush. You cannot cannot go out and buy a disc version of Hi-Fi Rush. You can't even order it. It doesn't exist. And more than a year later, there's still no word about whether or not they're going to have a physical copy of this game. And that potentially signals to Xbox, hey, there's no correlation between a game having a physical copy, a physical disc, and that game's success, either critically or commercially. Fast forward a couple of months later, the digital Series X Brooklyn leaks, and if you missed it, last week Walmart has started the process of disposing of all physical Starfield copies, a process which should be done by February 5th. A memo sent out to Claims Associates said that they need to discount copies of Starfield to 3 cents, and then have them processed for store disposal. They've stated that this action is funded by the manufacturer, in this case, Xbox. And I was actually able to confirm that this is a real thing that is happening, because I have a close family member that's been working at Walmart for many, many years. She says that the way it works is we tell Xbox how many games we have, and your company gives us complete credit on it. Then the 3 cents on each game is just a paper trail for Walmart, meaning that one of Xbox's most hyped up games, the thing that was supposed to be the flagship game of this generation, is being removed from the shelves of one of the biggest retailers in one of the biggest Xbox markets. And why would they do that if they weren't planning on shifting to an all-digital games future? All in all, Xbox ditching physical games, like Jez Corden says, it's probably not going to happen next week or next year, maybe not even this generation. But with all of these things combined, digital Xbox consoles removing big games from physical retailers, shutting down their physical game release division, it's hard not to look at all of that and think, it's probably nothing going on there. I would give it about a 70% chance that Xbox first-party games, at the very least, are going to be fully digital sometime in the future. I don't know if it's soon, I don't know if it's later, but I would bet money that it is going to happen at some point. Next up, let's talk about some exciting updates being tested out in the Insider Ring. A small quality of life feature is being tested out in the Insider program, where if you're playing a game through Xbox Game Pass and that game is leaving soon, a prompt will show up the next time you start it saying, hey, this game is leaving Game Pass soon, do you want to buy it using your discount? So you can keep playing it. Obviously, this isn't a feature that's going to break the internet, but I think it's cool nonetheless. Sometimes I forget certain things are leaving Game Pass. And if I'm playing a game through my subscription, sometimes it'll happen where I'll boot up the game or try to, and it'll be like, sorry, you don't have permission to play this game. It's very confusing. I'm like, wait, what's going on? Oh, right. Yes, they took this off the Game Pass library. Happened to me with Persona 5. I was like, oh boy, can't wait to jump into another heart. Oh wait, never mind. I gotta buy this game now. And I will say, it is kind of cool seeing Xbox encouraging their customers to buy the game. I'm sure you've heard it all at this point. Xbox dudes, they don't buy their games. They only like to rent. They don't like owning the game. And once this feature rolls out, I would be interested to see if there's any increase in terms of title sales once a game is leaving Xbox Game Pass. As part of this test build, they're also trying out this new experience tab that will pop up in certain sections of the guide. I don't know what that's about, but me personally, I want them to leave the guide alone. I think the guide is perfect. Don't need any more clutter or ads in my Xbox guide. But I'm not an Alpha Skip Ahead insider, so I can't really speak on that. Also, in the beta version of the Xbox app on Android and iOS, they're testing out a feature that will allow you to use touch controls whenever you use Remote Play. As reported by The Verge, the touch controls are going to function identically pretty much to what you would see on touch-supported titles on Xbox Cloud Gaming. And this would make it to where you wouldn't need a Bluetooth controller, a backbone, a Kishi, whatever, to use Xbox Remote Play on your phone. This is pretty cool because, especially recently, Remote Play has been way more reliable than Xbox Cloud Gaming. And sometimes I just don't feel like bringing a controller into the other room or taking off my phone case in order to plug in my Razer Kishi. The touch control system isn't perfect, especially because they take up so much of the screen, but it is a nice option to have. Next up, let's talk about Halo Infinite's latest move. Honestly, I don't know how to feel about it. The Halo YouTube account posted this really sick montage that served as a farewell to Season 5 and to seasons in general. Last week, 343 announced that they aren't going to be doing any more seasons. Season 5 is the last one that they're going to do. Now, that doesn't mean that they're pulling a Minecraft Legends and stopping development on on it entirely. They said they're still going to add content updates, they're just not going to be full-on seasons. Here's what they posted in the community subreddit. They said seasons are coming to an end in Halo Infinite as they shift to a different approach. There will not be a Season 6. This doesn't mean content is finished for Halo Infinite. January 30th update is simply known as CU29, as in Content Update 29. And apparently this update is going to include a new arena map called Illusion, new Forge features, and a free Mark IV armor core and a Halo Wars themed Spirit of Fire operation. Now again, I don't really know how I feel about this. It seems like a weird move considering how good Season 5 was. I was really enjoying it. But then on the other end, if they're still adding new maps and new content, does it really matter what they call it? And I'm also wondering, does this open the door to more frequent content updates? Like, they don't have the pressure of saving everything for one big seasonal drop. They can just kind of add things on an ongoing basis. I'm really just hoping that this does not signal the beginning of the end of Halo Infinite, because it was just starting to get good again, man. It was just starting to get good. Hopefully they continue to support this game and don't just dump it and leave it by the wayside for this new unannounced Halo project. Next up, let's talk about one of my favorite Xbox features this generation, a feature that has sadly been on the decline over the past year. I'm talking about the ability to put a dynamic background on your Xbox dashboard. Well, Xbox just came out with 5 new dynamic backgrounds today, all centered around EA Sports titles. And it's actually these backgrounds that highlight my problem with dynamic backgrounds and how Xbox is handling them now. They don't move. They're not very dynamic. When they first came out with these backgrounds, they were cool, like the Master Chief one, he's on the battlefield, the freaking Needler bullets are flying past him. But these sports ones are just not it. There's not a lot of movement to them.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
It's the same thing with the Starfield dynamic background that they came out with, and the same thing with the Forza Motorsport background. But although they've been missing on these backgrounds as of late, in my opinion, there are some really cool ones that are hiding on your Xbox console. I'm going to show you a quick tutorial on how to apply dynamic backgrounds to your dashboard and make your console your own. So this is my home dashboard. As you can see, it's like the OG Xbox background, super dope. And you can also probably tell that I was using my Xbox to watch playoff football. In order to check out the dynamic backgrounds for yourself, all you have to do is go on over to Settings. And it's literally in that first Settings tab, in the General tab. You go to Personalization, go to My Background, and then all the way at the bottom, you'll see dynamic backgrounds, and you have a bunch to choose from. They've been adding them every couple of months. Some are cooler than others, but I highly recommend that you check them out for yourself. And if you're sitting there like, nah, that's still not doing it for me, you can customize it yourself. Put your own images, import it via USB. You can take screenshots from your Xbox Live network and upload them as your background. In the new look Xbox dashboard, they gave us a little bit more space in order to appreciate our backgrounds. Not as much as I would have liked, but it's a little bit more space. So I highly recommend that you check out. If you don't pick a dynamic background, pick one that you like. Pick like some art that you like or a meme that you really like and set it as your background. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready, and we'll see you in the next video.